BC assessment data are out, and as a real estate team, we field a lot of real estate questions with regards to assessment valuations and some of the misconceptions that come with them. So today, we're going to answer the 5 most common questions we get. Does BC assessment data represent the value of your property today? And the answer is no, not even close. BC assessment data is based on comparable sales in the first half of the previous year. It means between January to July of last year. So at best, that data is 6 months old. At worst, it's up to 18 months old before a new BC assessment is launched. And in BC, the real estate market is a very dynamic market. Data that's a month old is sometimes too old, let alone 6 months ago. So it does not represent the current value of your property. This inevitably leads to the second most common question we get. What's the point of BC assessment data if it doesn't actually represent the market value of your home? Well, it's used by a lot of municipalities, federal and provincial governments to set policies, determine initiatives, create new laws, and of course, determine your proportionate share of property taxes. And this brings us to the third most common question we get. If your BC assessment valuation went up this year, does that mean you're going to be paying more taxes? Not necessarily. I'll make another video about this explaining the mechanics of it, but to give you a summary, your taxes are going to be based on your proportionate share of valuation relative to all the other similar product classes within your jurisdiction. So if your property valuation went up 5% this year, but all similar property types within your jurisdiction went up 15%, you're probably going to pay less property taxes this year. And this brings us to the fourth most common question we get. How do I determine if my property taxes are going up or down this year? I'll make another video and show you guys how you can use your percentage change and your jurisdiction's percentage change to determine if you're going to be paying more or less property taxes than the year before. And lastly, this all brings us to the fifth most common question we get. How do I dispute my BC assessment? So even knowing that your BC assessment does not accurately reflect the current market value of your property, and BC assessment increases do not necessarily represent an increase in your proportionate share of taxes, let's say you still want to dispute it. Well, BC assessment gives you a mechanism for that. First, they give you a number to call on their website, and you've got until January 31st to file a dispute. Now, that number will get you to speak to a representative, and usually a 10 to 15-minute conversation will help clarify anything or determine if there's a gross mistake done on your BC assessment. Remember, guys, this is done by a very sophisticated algorithm that doesn't always necessarily get it right. If you're still not satisfied with that conversation, then you can file a formal dispute. Hearings take about 2 to 3 months to be booked and are conducted by a third party that was not involved in the original assessment of your data. The onus is on you to prove that they're wrong by collecting data from sales of the first 6 months of last year that are comparable to your property. Remember, BC assessment data is based on the first 6 months of last year. So if your property has gone down or up in valuation since then, that's not relevant to the assessment valuation of your property. I hope you guys found this useful. Keep an eye out for future videos.